Let's kick things off with number 5.
Number 5.
I just want to set the tone, Max and Key, that this is, I don't know what moves are going to be made this offseason. Obviously, this has the ability to change, but this is where I feel currently right now is where we are.
Sorry, it's locked in. It's set now, Jay.
It's not
it's written in stone.
It's not written in stone.
It will be used against you in the
fluid.
future.
I'm sure it will with you. Number 5, I'll go with the Boston Celtics. Look, you are going to extend Jaylen Brown. You're going to give him the $285.6 million contract. Yes, even the fact that he can't dribble, even the fact that he had 8 turnovers, you're going to do it. LeBron James didn't win his first chip until he was 27. MJ didn't win his first chip until he was 28. Steph didn't win his chip until he was 27. Stop.
These dudes are babies, and they've been in the conference finals basically every year of their careers.
Jaylen Brown's 26 years old. Jason Tatum's 25 years old. If anything, you let this crew stay together for another year, and if it doesn't pan out again, if you want to make a move, then you do a trade, okay?
Hey, Jay, he can dribble. He just can't dribble with his left.
Fine, whatever you want to say. He's still worth the price, Keith.
Yeah,
all day.
For sure.
Next up on the list.
Number 4.
Okay, Philly. I see you 76ers. Nick Nurse. Max, you said yesterday, you don't need a doctor, you need a nurse. He's the answer. So we'll see what happens to James Harden. I think James Harden stays. I like JWill Max if he can be healthy. The knee thing is an issue. I still think the thing for this team to work around is Tobias Harris. That $40+ million cap hit that's going to take next year is a huge theme. But I love what Nick Nurse has done to the Toronto Raptors, getting guys like Pascal Siakam to buy into who he becomes. I think you can do the same for Tyrese Maxey.
What's bizarre about Tobias Harris? He's defending all of a sudden.
Okay. But I think the key
he's not scoring, he's defending. What?
The key is Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey can become an all-star. I think it's going to be next level. Next up.
Number 3.
Phoenix Suns, man. I mean, KD, Devin Booker, those boys out west. You get some ancillary pieces around them. You find the right coach. I mean, I think they have the talent. And the way D-Book and KD can take over a ball game, like I said, you still need to build out the ancillary pieces, but I like them in the West. I think they're going to be live. Next up.
Number 2.
Adrian Griffin, the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, if Giannis doesn't get hurt, we're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals. I believe it.
How many games did he miss?
3. What are you shaking your head for? What are you shaking your head for?
I don't know that they beat the Heat this year, man.
What?
Nah.
The dude, he missed 3 games.
Yeah. And how many games did they go out in?
6. Max. Oh, okay. Next up.
Number 1.
Well, I'll save it for the back end. The Denver Nuggets, man, they're the best team in the league. They're the best team in the league. You can say whatever you want. They're the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. I think Miami could get 2 games. But I still have the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic playing at this level of basketball with KCP or Michael Porter Jr., with Aaron Gordon. I mean, they're loaded, and Michael Malone is one of the best coaches in the league. He's finally going to get the credit. By the way, this team has been together for 6 years. People wanted to break them up, too. Now they're in the NBA Finals. So I'll leave it at that. That's what we got. Denver Nuggets, number 1. Milwaukee Bucks, number 2. Phoenix, number 3. Philly, number 4. Boston, number 5. Now, I don't have the Lakers. I don't have the Clippers. I don't have the Golden State Warriors. And, yes, I still don't have the Heat coming back next year in my top 5.
Well, you don't have the Sacramento Kings either.
No, I do not.
And they're a young team. They're getting it going in the right direction with Mike Brown. But, you know.
Would you take Phoenix next year, Key, or would you take the Sacramento Kings?
Just like it's constructed right now?
Yep.
I'm going to take the Suns.
Okay.
As it's constructed right now, I'm going to take the Suns, even without a coach.
Let me bring up a team that
and we'll see what happens with Ayton. I don't know what's going to happen with Ayton.
And I don't even feel like screaming at you about the Lakers.
But let me scream a little bit about the Lakers in that case. The Lakers made the conference finals. They got swept. They were in every game, but they got swept by a team you believe is clearly the best team in basketball, not only this year, but next year as well.
Wait, you said the Lakers got swept by Denver? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And by the way, there's so much going on. I'm like, wait, did they not get swept?
Wait, a second.
They were in every game, though, against the team that you say is the class of the league and will be the class of the league next year. They're probably going to get better. this offseason, the Lakers, right? They have certain foundational pieces. They think they've added the right pieces. And now they're either, as Key said, going to add to that, or maybe you make a major move to bring in another superstar. They're probably going to be better. So how do you have a team that was in the conference finals and competed in each game with what you believe the best team in the league clearly, and is likely to get better, not there next year?
Because I worry about Bron. I legitimately worry about Bron.
Given his age and everything. Yeah.
39 years old, this stage of his career, like seeing how the injuries have accumulated, right? Seeing how he had to take time off this, even though I think he had a phenomenal year, like watching the way things ended, Key. Yeah, it's okay to have concern about LeBron at 39 years old.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I'm not saying LeBron can't do it, because I know LeBron has beaten Father Time. You see it when it catches up to them at the end, where he ran out of gas. And I wonder.
I don't think the plan, Jay, is for him to play 40 minutes a game next year. I don't think that's the plan. But, I just don't believe that's the plan.
So Key, if that's not the plan, then are you counting on AD to carry the load? So
I think an AD and another is what they're counting on. Now, whether that other is Reeves or Kyrie, I think there's another piece in there beside AD. But
well, that's why I said as currently constructed, right? If you can't count on Bron to play 40 minutes and carry that kind of load, like, I'm not going to say Austin Reeves is going to help you get back to the Western Conference Finals.
Let me shift.
As a third scorer, though, Jay.
Okay. You saying that's
dude pretty good.
The Miami Heat have improbably, but nevertheless they've done it, appeared in 3 of the past 4 Eastern Conference Finals and 2 finals. So 2 of the last 4 years, they're one of the 2 remaining teams. And in 3 of the last 4 years, they're one of the top 4. Why are they not there?
I like Miami. I love seeing everything that Miami's been able to do. To me, this feels like March Madness, though.
Again, but that's why I'm saying every year it's March Madness for them.
Well, I mean, Eastern Conference Finals, they got there, right?
Yeah.
And then the other was in a bubble, correct? Mm-hmm. So, I have all the respect in the world for Miami. I just don't have them as one of my favorites moving into next year. Doesn't mean that they won't be there when the end of the year is done.
I'd say you have all the respect on a continent for them, maybe not in the world. It's a little less than in the world. I have all the respect in the world. You have all the respect in an area.
It's a smart bet, Jay, because not anybody on this earth, other than Miami Heat fans and the owner of the Heat or anybody else in the organization, not anybody's going to have them at the start of the season as a top 5 team in the NBA.
Shame on all of us. You're right.
Whether they win the title or not, it's just not going to happen.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
And I'll be one of those people who counts them out. Shame on me, too. Every year they do.
Jay.
It was a different. It's a different Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So once again, it's like treading water to get to the playoffs,
and then all bets are off.
Right.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow, an old teammate of Jay's, who Jay says when they were on the same page, that's when they won it all. Shane Battier will join us 7 a.m.
Jay's the
Eastern.
point guard, and he couldn't get them all on the same page.
He did. He said.
We won it. Yes.
Eventually, though, you're supposed to have 4.
You should have 4.
I was only there for 3 years.
Yeah, no excuses. 4.
The money ran out. That's right, 3.
I'll take 33%. 1 out of 3 years is pretty good.
No, I need 3. It's Duke.
The moment may have been too big for them now. Joe Mazzulla's a rookie coach. Tatum and Brown are still very young. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be too big for them. And I'd remind Draymond, Game 7 at home 2016, he balled out. Was the moment too big for Steph and Clay and everyone? I would say yes back then based on the way they played, but they went on to win more championships.
I mean, look, they shrunk. They became small. Mm-hmm. Like, it happens. By the way, it happened to Golden State this year. Mm-hmm. Like, they shrunk. They got small. So, but they have chips. So Dre can talk that way. But this is the path you have to take in order to be able to have that type of confidence. And like, he's not wrong about the game. But that's, guys, we've been saying that, Key, about the Boston Celtics. And I hear Celtic fans, they want to come at me and talking about Joe Mazzulla. What happened to now him losing the locker room? I'm like, well, you can lose the locker room and get it back. That doesn't mean you're going to be consistent. First-year head coach, he's trying to find consistent methodologies of keeping his team locked in. We've questioned the identity of this team, Key. Like, that wasn't in question last year. They became small in the finals, but you felt like you knew who they were defensively last year. I didn't know who this team was defensively this year. Look at the defensive rating. It dropped off from where they were last year. So even if you do add Malcolm Brogdon, it seems like there wasn't an orchestrator there in the half court to help this team who was over-reliant on the three-point shot. It's just, that is where it is.
It was on the job training for the coach, right? He was put into the situation right before the season. He's learning how to coach in the NBA. Will they be better next year if he grows as a coach, if he learns from the mistakes that he may have made? Clearly, if you look at Game 7, he was using the timeouts, right? So it tells me that he's learned something already. Well, I can't take all those timeouts with me, so I might as well start to use them. I mean, he was literally using them. And so I get what people was saying about you saying he lost the locker room. Well, you know, based on your playing experience and based on your knowledge of body language and all sorts of other little things that go on with players for you to even make that statement. So those that are out there coming at you about that, they must understand you are in the mix, regardless if you're in the locker room on a daily basis. You know, one of the things they got to do is they got to just learn from their mistakes and get past it. You pointed out when Steph Curry won, Michael Jordan won, all these other players, it took a minute. Everybody's not going to win as a rookie like Magic Johnson in the NBA final. It's just not going to happen.
They're getting punished for their own precociousness.
So what I would do is this offseason, I'm hiring Frank Vogel. Like if another team doesn't pick him up, I'm bringing him, I'm putting him on my staff, and I'm having him be an assistant coach next to Joe Mazzulla. Somebody that can say, hey, look, we should probably use a challenge there. We should call timeout here. Hey, even if you want to have a little bit of confrontation about different styles that are implemented, you get somebody who's a veteran, seasoned
So you're just ready to just sharpen
coach.
The knife then?
Exactly, Key. Exactly. No.
But will you hire Frank Vogel, which is crazy because somebody told me the other day, not just about this particular job, but a lot of jobs I was opening. They're like, man, the first person, you need to be going to hire Frank Vogel. Now you're saying it, put him on the bench, and I'm just saying sharpen the knife because rather than Brad Stevens come downstairs, you got a veteran coach. If you decide that this isn't working, you kind of could slide him in and see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, again, what we were talking about earlier and you and I were discussing yesterday, Jay. Even if they keep Brown and Tatum together, and Mazzulla's the head coach, and they get, as I said, just take a scenario. They get bounced in the second round next year. They make a finals but get swept. They go to the conference finals and lose in 6. Every year it's going to be, by the time they're still not 30 years old, which is right, there's neither of their stars. Now they have a seasoned head coach who's made deep playoff runs for 4 years. They have 2 stars who've been in like 8 conference finals. They have a good shot to be set up better than any team in basketball over those next 3 or 4 years to run the table. Like, sure, you can be impatient with them right now. I get why, but they're set. The Celtics are set up with a nucleus better than almost everyone else.
I disagree. I think if I would sign Jaylen Brown, if you get beat in the second round in the Eastern Conference semifinals next year,
could happen. I'm
trading Jaylen Brown.
What if you go? What if
I'm trading Jaylen Brown? I'm getting more compensation. It's been now going on 7 years.
But but he's 26, 27.
But what if you get beat in the final, Jay?
In the NBA finals?
In the conference final.
I might be still looking at trading Jaylen Brown. Next year, after next year. After next year. Now, first off, we keep talking about Jaylen Brown being there. We first have to figure out if Jaylen Brown wants to be there.
Yeah, right. That's the big thing.
That's the biggest part of this story that nobody's talking about. Because Jaylen Brown has given us a lot of insight on a lot of reasons on why he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So
and by the way,
I keep talking about a dark horse team and being the Atlanta Hawks. He's from Marietta, Georgia. If he wants to have his own team, that could be a scenario there. But that's the first deciding factor.
He was their best player when it mattered most in the last postseason. And in this postseason, in a Game 7, when Tatum rolled his ankle, they really needed him to have one of his better games, Jaylen Brown, and he had one of his worst games.
I agree, but he also carried a lot of the weight throughout all the playoffs. And there wasn't strategy for him to score down the stretch.
I got a dark horse team for you, Jay.
The Lakers.
The Lakers.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.